take us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall, a place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stevenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we rise, not the stories we've told. Guests with their journeys, sharing their light. In every collision, there's power in sight. It's more than a talk, it's the wisdom we gain through every struggle, through every pain. With conversations that open the door to purpose, to power, to so much more. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. So come as you are, with your scars and fears. This is the place where the truth appears. Turn your trials into stepping stones. Find the strength to claim your throne. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. A collision with purpose, your journey starts here. In every conversation, we'll wipe away fear. Find your purpose, let your life ignite. With Dr. Stevenson, you'll find your light.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Welcome to the A Collision with Purpose movement. And thank you for joining me for this special edition of Life-Changing Conversations to Inspire Actions. Today, I am honored to sit down with a remarkable leader whose wisdom, vision, and financial stewardship have helped to strengthen and expand this movement across continents. She is the Chief Financial Officer of the A Collision with Purpose movement and a powerful voice in the work we do here in the United States and abroad, Dr. Donna Thompson. Dr. Thompson, thank you for being with us today. Let's get going.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I am great. It's a good day.
It's a beautiful day. It's a Monday.
Yes.
And August is on us real fast, almost over.
Yeah, I know. It's almost September, and I'm just like, where did the summer go?
Yeah, right? Back to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did it go?
Back to school and, getting ready for planning new initiatives and big things.
And we're going to talk about some of those big things today. Now, let's begin. Let's begin at the beginning, right? Let's begin at the beginning. Dr. Thompson, for those who may not know your story, Can you begin by sharing a bit about your journey and what led you to become a part of the A Collision with Purpose movement?
Okay. So let's let me try to, you know, give a little bit of synopsis of my journey as quickly as possible, because I know we don't have all day. But of course, I was born in Jamaica, in Portland, Jamaica, West Indies. So I am from the beautiful island of Jamaica and migrated to the United States at a very young age. I came from a single parent home. So my mom, she's a single mom, you know, a lot of single parents. We know the hardships of raising children. Um, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm an only child. Wish I had some siblings. Nevertheless, you know, it's what she could manage. So, you know, single mom, only child. And, you know, so my mom did a lot of, you know, traveling, working, and just, you know, a bunch of different jobs, right? A bunch of different jobs to make ends meet so that she could, you know, essentially provide for us. And with that, even though my mom did not have everything that she would have liked to have, I grew up with a mother who taught me and showed me how to share whatever little you have. It doesn't matter what it is. I grew up, you know, in a household where we shared everything. Even with my grandparents, that was just the common thing. We shared everything. And so, you know, fast forward, you know, coming to the States, you know, going through schooling, finishing my education here, you know, those foundational things, of course, still stuck with me. And, you know, I find myself where that's just a part of me as far as sharing and caring for other individuals who don't have, maybe because of the fact that, you know, I know what it's like not to have, and, you know, having to grow up sometimes having rice and chicken noodle soup mixed together as a meal, you know, but making ends meet. So I have a passion for giving back, especially when it comes on to children, and the needs of children. And just, you know, knowing that, you know, there's times when we're very, you know, children, they're very resilient, right? But there are times, you know, they go through traumatic experiences and they may not have, and, you know, they experience things and they don't let their parents know. So, you know, being able to really pour into the children and giving back to communities and feeding people, I have a passion for that, for feeding people. So nevertheless, you know, with A Collision with Purpose, of course, I've known Dr. Stevenson. I've known you for quite some time, right? For several decades now. And, you know, because of our affiliation where you pulled me into GHN, well, you didn't even really pull me to GHN. You just said, hey, you know, Global Humanity Network, and this is what we do. You know, just come to a meeting. And, you know, went to that one meeting and, hey, it was sealed. I was bought. I was there because I pretty much found my place there. I was at my happy place, my happy home. And it's funny when we talk about a collision and colliding with your purpose, because I've always had this thing about me saying where if I could serve humanity and figure out how to pay my bills, that is my sweet spot. Because that is where I feel more fulfilled, when I'm able to serve, when I'm in that position of serving. So Global Humanity Network just came at the right time where all the pieces came together. It just melted together where I was right where I should be. And then with that, and we're working and we're doing the work of doing things in Jamaica, doing things abroad, you know, then A Collision with Purpose came up. And it just all made sense when you came up with A Collision with Purpose. Because then it just made sense, like, wow, this is where, like, the path was just laid out to just continue doing the work, as far as, you know, the same concept is in serving humanity, helping individuals find their way in life and really live a fulfilled life, you know, really live a purposeful life instead of just wandering through this world. A collision with purpose is really here to help people just, navigate better, to really find their purpose and really navigate through life on a purposeful path. So that's kind of like how it's it all came along. Not to mention the fact that, of course, I'm an author, I write, which I enjoy doing. I didn't, at first I didn't think that was a part of my thing, but I realized that we all have a story. We all have a story, and it's so important to share our stories and share our journey, because when we do that, we realize that as humans, we have more similarities than differences, and we can help each other.
Sounds like you've been having frequent recurrence of collision with your purpose. Because I listen to you talk, and you talk about a collision with purpose coming up. It was more like having a collision with your purpose, it seems. Thank you for that powerful introduction to your journey. Now, Dr. Thompson, as the CFO of the A Collision with Purpose movement, how would you describe the current state of the movement and the broader vision guiding its future?
Well, currently we are a young organization, right? We're a pretty young organization, but I'm going to tell you, currently the movement is so powerful and so impactful. We have thousands of members, thousands of followers that is on board with us, with our vision and our mission. And, with that, of course, there's work. There's always work. So, as far as future, looking at the future, it's just growth, right? It's the organization is in a place where it's growing. It's constantly growing with new followers and new members. And of course, with that, we've expanded our reach, of course, into Africa, specifically the country of Kenya. We've expanded our business there. And of course, here in the US, and we're looking at further expansion into the Caribbean, because the work that we're doing is of such vast importance. And, that entails, of course, we'll have the part of the organization will do the part of taking care of our communities, right? Dealing with our children, dealing with, individuals who are just, at a disadvantage, and helping to bring resources there, but also, teaching, the organization will be empowering individuals how to, do better for themselves, and also, give back to their communities, uplift their communities, and how to become self-sufficient, and, and also sustain their lifestyle and their livelihoods. So a lot of work, yes, but it's good work, and we're here to stay. So it's definitely, small steps that we're taking, because we believe in building a strong foundation. Without a strong foundation, you will crumble. So we're slowly building, but steadfast, to make sure that our foundation is absolutely strong.
Slowly building, but steadfast. That is quite an inspiring vision. Now, staying with the work here at home, when I say at home, I'm talking about United States, and bringing it a little closer to where many of our viewers live, which is what we've been doing, right? In Africa, for instance, in Kenya, we've brought the work there. So, Dr. Thompson, what are the top priorities for the movement here in the United States over the next 12 to 18 months? What are we looking at?
So our top priorities is definitely launching our academy here in the US, launching the foundation in the US. We've already taken the steps in doing so. So we're just working out all the other necessary paperwork and things of that nature, so that we can go ahead and have a full launch with that. And definitely our online course with the various skill set programs and classes, courses that we have to offer. And those, of course, will be offered here in the US to start off, right? To start off. So, that is kind of where we are as far as solidifying and building in the US is really implementing our academy, the foundation, and our online courses. And of course, any speaking engagements that we will have here as well.
Big stuff there. Big stuff there. You know, as the work continues to grow here in the US, we know the movement has a global mandate as well. So let's talk about that. You know, in what ways is the movement preparing to expand its presence in Africa? And why is that so important at this particular stage of the movement?
Well, currently we're preparing in expansion with, we were just there, right? And so we got a little bit more field on the ground, more exposure on the ground, and really understanding a lot more of some of the needs and things of that nature, just from our last visit. And are looking at the future, our expansion, once again in Kenya, because, you know, that's where we started. So we have a little leg room there foundationally, is to take our conference. We usually have our conference here in the US, and we'll be taking our conference, the colloquium, to Kenya. And it's important for us to have that expansion so that we can take this there and show individuals there as well that, hey, we want to honor you. We want to honor people in the community there, the average individuals in the community, that they're doing the work, they're helping their community, they're helping their fellow neighbors. And we want to, you know, honor those individuals so that, you know, we can encourage them to continue doing the work, just like what we do here. We want to continue, you know, encourage those individuals to continue doing the work, because believe it or not, you know, while we were there, one of the things that came out of our visit was with some of the members that was there with us from Kenya who worked with us, and they saw the work that we were doing. They were a part of the work, and they were, you know, there with us, boots on the ground, every day working with us. And they even realized that, wow, you know what? I never really looked at it that I could be here doing this. Like, this is my hometown. I'm here, and look at what I'm here doing. And they realize that they're not as powerless as they probably thought they were. Mm-hmm. And just small little things can make a huge impact. So by us doing that and taking our conference there and inviting those individuals to come and hear about the work that we're doing, and us pouring into them and showing them ways how they too can go out and they can do great things in their communities, and for them to continue doing it, right? Because we want to continue, we want to encourage individuals, you know, that you don't have to be on a great big stage for someone to recognize you, but we want to encourage and recognize the small individuals who they are doing great impactful work in their communities.
You know, I've heard this said many times that the best recognition is when you're recognized by your peers. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, powerful stuff there. Now, beyond Africa, there's another region that remains deeply connected to our purpose and to the movement. So, Dr. Thompson, the Caribbean has strong cultural and historical ties to the work of the movement. Yes. How do you plan to engage and expand across the Caribbean region?
Well, definitely, you know, once again, seeking out those individuals who are, you know, on board with our vision and our mission. Right? Seek out those individuals who want to be a part of this movement, and definitely they're willing to do the work and come on board to do the work with us. But even so, we're taking the work there, right? We're taking our work there. So in the Caribbean, that is another footprint that we're definitely will be expanding. Once again, we write books. We look at opportunities to take our conferences to these places. And once again, recognize individuals in their communities who they are doing the work. They are going out there, they're doing the work, no one's recognizing them. We want to be that organization where we're going to come in and we're going to say, hey, we see you, we hear you. we're here to support you. And then also get support from the community as well, so that we can continue to build communities, build, neighborhoods, and once again, impact individuals and pour into our younger generation, because that's where it's at. We have to start teaching our younger generation, our children, because they are our next leaders, they're our next doctors, lawyers, you name it. We're going to be old and gray, and we need our younger generation to be prepared so that they can take the baton and they can continue to do great work in this world.
So is it safe to say that you're looking to find those individuals in the Caribbean, Jamaica,
Yes.
other countries in the Caribbean? You're actively looking?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So if you're watching this interview or will watch it later, you heard it here. We are actively looking for collaborators to build relationships with people from the Caribbean, Caribbean people. Very important, because we intend to spread our wings there, right? All right, so looking specifically at the continent of Africa, let's get back there. Now, let us turn our attention to one of the most anticipated initiatives happening next year. Dr. Thompson, looking ahead to Kenya Outreach 2026. What makes this upcoming mission unique, and what new initiatives should people expect to see?
Okay. Well, of course, one of the things that's going to make this very unique is that, as I earlier stated, we are bringing the colloquium there. The colloquium, it's a conference where we specifically honor individuals in their communities that they are doing servant leadership work, right? They're giving back to their communities. And also what will make it another great, visit is that the team that went with us 2025, we came together, we've all decided that we would be doing a collaborative work to write an anthology based on our experiences that we had when we were there a few months ago in 2025. So we're going to have the book launch at this event. And with that book launch, yes, it's a book launch. Yes, we'll have our team there again with us, telling our stories, sharing our stories of our experience. But what is also unique about that initiative, and I think is very powerful, is that the sales from our book, from this launch, will go back into various initiatives within the communities, various different outreach things that we may have, whether if it's building toilets, if it's doing sanitary towels, whatever initiative we find where there is a need that we need to actually come in and, whether partner with other companies and things of that nature. But proceeds from this particular body of work will be giving back to the community. And that's one of the things that I think is of utmost importance, because these are individuals who they came with us to serve, right? And of course, it costs them to come and serve. But here it is. They're also willing to give back by sharing their experience and their story, so that we can have something that is tangible to continue to give back. And that is an awesome legacy to leave behind. So very, very important and very unique initiative that will be taking place 2026.
And what a way to document the journey. What a way to document the journey. And it's given all those who came with us as collaborators, what a big opportunity, right? To share their story with the world, their personal experiences. We talk about Kenya Outreach 2025 like it was a long time ago, but it was only 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Kenya in June. And here we are talking about returning Kenya Outreach 2026, just a few months out, right? So anyway, alongside the outreach efforts, there's another major gathering taking place in Kenya next year that will bring leaders together from around the world. Now, we're talking specifically about our colloquium. So, Dr. Thompson, the 2026 colloquium will also be held in Kenya. What inspired that decision to host it there, and what themes are being considered?
Okay, so I think what inspired it was our trip that we just had 2 months ago. And after speaking with our team members, speaking with you, and then just thinking of us coming together and writing our stories of our journey that we had there and all the experiences that we had, it just seemed that it was fitting to take it back there for the book launch, because everything about this book really had to do with our experience, and Kenya inspired the project with this upcoming book. So it was just fitting to go back to have the book launch there.
It just makes sense. And the interest in Kenya is just amazing. I should say that on social media, any given day now, we're picking up over 100 members per day.
Right.
And, that's huge, right? That's huge. And that is just on one platform. Not to mention we have, multiple platforms on Facebook and Instagram and elsewhere on social media. So it would make sense to host it there, just on that basis alone, because of the interest. So hosting our colloquium in Kenya truly speaks to our goal of building global connection and collaboration. Now, how do you envision the colloquium deepening the connection between leaders in the United States, Africa, and the Caribbean? What do you see there happening there?
Well, I foresee that, of course, it will definitely, if there was a gap, it will definitely bridge the gap, because for one thing, we're in a unique space that we're from Jamaica, right? We do have that connection with the Caribbean, and we also live in the US, and we've been to the continent of Africa. So I find it that we're in a really nice space where we're well-rounded, where we can bring knowledge and experience to each section. We can bring that knowledge that we have from the US and the Caribbean to Kenya. We can bring the knowledge that we gain from Kenya back to the US, back to the Caribbean. So with that, I find that we're in a very awesome and responsible position, because we have to make sure that the information that we're sharing is accurate as well, right? It's accurate and it's positive information, and it's to uplift communities and to really enrich humanity on a whole. So I find that we're just in a very powerful place to where we can bridge those gaps, whether it's with political leaders, whether it's with religious leaders, business members of the communities. We can speak on all spectrum of different things, economical things that may be happening and taking place in any of these regions, because we have lived experiences from these places. So I find that we're very gifted.
Talk about gifted and talk about the different initiatives that we're looking at. None of this happens in isolation, right?
No.
Partnerships are important and essential, to the movement's success. How are partnerships with schools, government officials, and local organizations been strengthened for the 2026 return to Kenya?
Well, I see how that has really, really strengthened just from even this last trip that we went to, because we did two toilet initiatives in 2 different schools. We visited several counties. We did toilet initiatives. We did sanitary towels. We did food drives with orphanages. And the response that we have received has been so positive and so appreciative, both by the local government, the schools, the students, it has all been received very well. And so because of that, they continue to invite us to come back, to continue working, to continue helping. And also because of the work that we've done, and the government there, they've seen that we came and our hearts was in the right place and we wanted to help. So with that, it was just a buy-in for them as well, to where they, it's easier for them to come in. And here it is, they have an organization whose work is sincere, and it's really about uplifting and helping the communities and the children and the members of those communities. So that has really helped us, to where I'm quite sure going back, we will get even more support from various leaders and organizers of the communities, which we're currently working with right now to make those preparations for 2026.
With such a expanding reach, sustainability becomes even more important to remain effective for the long haul. And we're not just in Kenya as a transactional thing. It's really a long haul, right? We're building. Dr. Thompson, from a financial and operational perspective, what strategies are being put into place to ensure long-term sustainability as the movement expands across all these three regions here in the US, Africa, and the Caribbean?
So yes, everything costs, right? And while we definitely encourage sponsorships, donations, all those things, that's great. But of course, we know those things can be limited. So as far as sustainability, yes, we have to put things in place. Currently, we do have our apparel that can be purchased. We do have our hoodies, we have our t-shirts, we have our hats, we have our books, we have a lot of merchandise that can be purchased, right? So you can go to our website, collisionwithpurpose.com, and you can purchase, any of these things, or you can purchase our books on Amazon as well. So those are tangible things that you can purchase as well. Also, we do have our online classes that if you're wanting to, whether you have like a team of a team that you're wanting to uplift them and you need to give them some, build some skills or leadership skills, things of that nature, we do offer courses. So that is something as well that we do have, where organizations can invest in themselves and their employees, right? And also, come back to the organization. And, also with that, we're looking at, building out communities to where we can have merchandise that definitely, sells to the community, but percentages come back to some of our initiatives as well. And our conferences, our conferences, of course, we'll have things there that will sell at our conferences. There is a cost to come to the conference as well. So, you'll definitely have to pay to come to the conference. But those are just small little things that, as far as sustainability, that we're starting off with. And as we grow, definitely there'll be more opportunities for us to expand with being able to sustain our financial status for the work that we have to do.
And what kind of interests are you seeing right now regarding the 2026 outreach?
So right now it's high in motion. There's a lot of interest for the 2026 outreach. A lot of people they're reaching out. Some, they want to be a part of it. They want to be there. From here in the States, they want to travel with us back there. But also in Kenya, it's high momentum. People are excited. They can't wait to see us actually come back and what we're coming with and what's going to happen in 2026. So the momentum is very high. And we're just making sure that we can have a place to accommodate to accommodate all the people who we anticipate will be there. Kenya does have quite a high population. So we have to make sure that we can provide accommodations for, individuals who definitely want to be a part of this conference that is coming up. And like I said, it's going to be a powerful conference. We're going to have speakers. We'll have entertainment. We'll honor individuals from the community. And it's just really about empowerment, empowering individuals to find their purpose and take action.
And when you're talking about accommodations, I'm taking it that you're talking about people who will be traveling from the United States, from Jamaica to Kenya with us.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure that out because we had that on this last trip as well. So
what is your expectation in terms of numbers traveling with us? I know the last time we did 10. What are you expecting this time around?
This time around, I honestly don't have an expectation. I definitely know 10 because that's the number that went with us. We're all a part of the book that will be launched there. So we definitely know that there's a definite 10 number there. Additionally, I'm not certain as yet because everything, it all depends, right? Everything is a number game. So we have to look at the numbers. So once, I have a better idea of the numbers with accommodations for people to stay, transportation, venue, things of that nature. Once I have all the numbers, I can pull all the numbers together, then I can definitely give a better answer.
Is there a number, a cutoff point in terms of how many?
I am quite sure there will be.
And the reason why I'm asking you that, I know at least 8 individuals reached out to me, said they must be a part of this one. And I'm not talking from the 10 that went with us before. Right. And I know that could grow. So that's something that would have to be managed because
yes,
it would have to be managed carefully. And what was the thing what was the number one standout point on on the 2025 initiative? What was that one thing that really did it for you?
Wow, there are so many instances. I think one of the things that really stood out, besides meeting PLO Lumumba, which I never would have in a million years see that coming. But one of the things that stood out for me was when we visited the orphanage, where this was
that the first one?
No, this was the second one, I believe. I think it was the second one. And the mother of the orphanage, and it wasn't even really an established orphanage. She's a member of the community, and she opened up her home to taking in children who were probably sexually, taken advantage of in some way or another. And she's just barely getting by. And she opened up her home to taking in all these children. And at any given time, she could have 30 kids in her home. And she just figure out how to feed them, how to take care of them. And it's not that she has this great job or this big house. She barely has it for herself. And she could get a call in the middle of the night saying that, hey, this child needs a place, and she'll just, say, bring them along. And I think that really stood out to me, because she's just a regular person in the community that's trying to do her part.
And if I recall, the government of Vega County is going to reward her for her work. They're building out a center, and they will make her the mother of that center as well. And that's because of her commitment and dedication. She's one, and that's someone that we should follow up with, check on to see how she's doing. because we did make some commitment to her that would stay with her
Right.
through the work that she's doing. So that was a standout, and we did visited multiple orphanages. Right, that was
Mhm.
one. We did one in Kenya, and we also did. I think we did what, 4 of them total.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Total. So that was a big deal. And what about the schools that we visited? The 2 schools in Kitale. That was special, very special.
Yeah, the kids, oh my gosh. It's we take so much for granted, right? Because, we're here and, some of us, we're doing pretty well. But the kids are so amazing because they're, even though they may not have everything that they need, but they were so happy to see us. I mean, laughing, chattering, wanting to hug you. It was just so accommodating. But I know that one of the schools that we visited while we were there, we saw where several of the students did not have shoes, and it wasn't a case where it was a choice for them to say, hey, I'm going to go to school today, I'm not going to wear shoes, right? Or I have my good shoes at home, so I'm not going to wear it to school, I'm just going to go without. No, this was a case where these kids, they just did not have a pair of shoe. And I think that school was probably 200 plus children who attended that school, and approximately 92 or something. I don't quite remember the total number, but it was 90 something students in the school that did not have shoes. And, while we were there, the team realized that, and it was something that while we were there, we didn't plan on it. We didn't know that this was a case that was, happening at the school. We went to the school because that was one of the schools that was a recipient of the toilets. Mm-hmm. And while we were there, the students, they came to greet us and, doing different things to show their appreciation. It was noticed that many of them were bare feet. But happily, before we left, the team came together and we were able to provide every single student with a pair of shoes.
I believe it was a total of 102 shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And what was interesting too, that they were so well dressed
mm-hmm.
without the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much pride in how they carry themselves, even without shoes. And I should say, I believe that was in Vega County. Ikalika was the name of the school, or something like that, if I get the pronunciation right. And we also sourced a drum, a tank, one of those black tanks.
Yeah, the water tank.
A big one. And so that was quite a success moment for us there, to be able to do what we did for the children. And what was also interesting is that the parents, they were there waiting for us from the morning, early in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. That level of commitment was just so amazing. And a great, head mistress.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you call her, right?
A head mistress.
Head teacher. And awesome lady doing the work and so committed to what they're doing there. So that was a wonderful moment that caught my attention as well. One of the standout moment. Now, Dr. Thompson, let's look forward. When you look ahead 5 years from now, some of us will be a little bit older, of course. I know they want to think 5 years from now. What do you hope the legacy of the A Collision with Purpose movement will be? And how can people become part of that legacy right now? Because it's legacy in motion.
Right. Well, one, you can become a part of that by, going on. You can join our Facebook page or YouTube channel, collisionwithpurpose.com. You can, find us on any social media platform. Definitely join us there. And also, if you have certain interests in doing the work that we're stating that we're doing here, and you want to be more actively involved, email us at collisionwithpurpose@gmail.com. Send us an email. We'll definitely respond and we can have a conversation. You never know what your collision may be and your path, so, and that's what we're all about, right? If you're looking for an organization to do some good work, we're here, just reach out to us. But in 5 years, I definitely see that we will have expanded our reach throughout the continent of Africa and also the Caribbean. And I'm quite sure we will be expanding in Europe as well.
In Europe as well. And I know the Caribbean is really important for us because we are Jamaicans. We are from the Caribbean. And it's important to us. Now, as we get ready to wrap up, is there anything else you want to share with our audience?
I just want to say that sometimes in life you may think that you're in a bad place, right? But always try to find the lesson. There's something you're supposed to learn from that space that you're in that you think is so bad at that particular time. Sit back, analyze, and really try to find out what it is that you're supposed to learn. Because sometimes we think that you're living your purpose or you're doing purposeful work. And oftentimes that may not be the case. You may find your purpose in that bad space that you're in. But find the positive things that you're supposed to learn, because life is all about teaching. Life is all about teaching and learning. That's how you gain wisdom. So find the lesson that you're supposed to learn and then go out there and apply it and do the work and impact someone's life. Be a change for something positive in someone's life. Don't leave people with negative things. Always try to leave each person you encounter with something positive and live your legacy. Don't let someone else tell your story or tell your legacy or try to dictate what your legacy was. Live your legacy and start today.
And you live your legacy by what you're doing right now, by what
Yes.
you're doing today. Now, is it a purpose that is worth living if it's not serving others?
That's a tough question, but I think that it is. You may not see it. You may not see it that way, but every single life is here for a purpose and a reason. Every single life, no matter what you do, it somewhere, somehow because every single person you have an encounter with, you've served a purpose. You've left some kind of a thought, an impact, an impression, something. Unless you live in a hole, I don't know. But as long as you're living on top of this earth, on ground, everything that you do is serving someone some type of a purpose.
Well, a purpose that serves others is a purpose well served. All right, Dr. Thompson, let me say thank you for sharing your heart, your vision, and the strategic direction of this movement that we call the A Collision with Purpose movement. Your insights remind us that A Collision with Purpose is more than an organization, that it is a call to action and a global family committed to service, impact, legacy across the United States, Africa, and the Caribbean. And you did mention Europe as well.
Mm-hmm.
To all of our listeners and supporters, this journey continues because of people like you. Whether you serve, give, partner, or simply share the message, you are part of something bigger than yourself. Now, let us move forward with courage, build with conviction, and keep answering the call to transform lives, one act, one purpose at a time. Thank you, and I see you soon on life-changing conversations that inspire actions. Blessings always.
We've all had moments that break us down. searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born. A new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall. A place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stevenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we